Welcome again, second time on a Wednesday. Hope we're doing well. We're back here with the Hawthorn video. Can't wait to do this one because a lot of you have been in my messages, in the comments and DMs about this. Really excited about this one. First of all, big shout out to three of my real good mates. I've got me bestie, Big Rowan Higgs. He's a massive hawker and we go to events together and stuff at the Hawthorn, so welcome to you. Big Aaron Warney. Big mate of mine, quality bloke as well. Hopefully we'll get him on the channel. Real good banter. Big Belly, a mate of mine who I've known for a while from Perth, so he's a cracking lad as well. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. Shout out to Steph and Co as well in the channel here who like it. And if you want to become a member, we are doing a giveaway to win an AFL Guernsey or a sport Guernsey of your choice. 4th of March that'll be drawn, so if you want to be a member, come in there. Make sure you like and subscribe to the video. If you're enjoying the content, make sure I know you're enjoying it. But here we go, the full back line of Hawthorn. We've got Blake Hardwick, terrific footballer Blake Hardwick is. I am a huge fan of everything this guy does, and I'm sure Mitchell will be as well. I think Sam will absolutely froth how he goes about his work. Real industrious, real hard working, very rarely makes a mistake. I'm a big fan of Hardwick. He's going to have a lot of work to do because I don't think Hawthorn is going to be as bad as many people make out. I really don't. I think that they'll get cheap wins with their age profile. Very early doors, they'll run teams rampant like they did. But Hardwick here, he's going to be very, very key to their backline. Him and Sicily are going to hold this together with their experience and leadership. James Blank there at fullback. I love this kid, and this kid stands out when he plays. And again, Hawthorn's system of getting people from that Box Hill side and stuff works dividends. You can see he understands the Sam Mitchell system. He allows them guys to rotate off him and be that intercept. Good body size as well, uses his body well. Tough to beat as well one-on-one when you watch him. Particularly in the VFL games, I saw a lot of them with Box Hill, and the way he moves is really good. And the fact he engages very early is very key in today's game. If you watch the best defenders, they beat the forward in that engagement, which kind of throws them off canter, and Blank is very good at that. Granger Barras coming in there in the pockets. Keep an eye on this kid because this kid can play football, and I don't think you've actually had a taste of what Denver can do. Real strong aerially, real strong, and a decent user of the pill as well. It's probably not made out because he doesn't boot the ball a long way, but it's the simplisticness in how Denver goes about his work, which I think is really key to your defenders. I think a lot of people look at these Daniel Riches and Sards and players like that and get really excited by them, or they look at, your Mitch McGoverns, your Stephen Mays, and they get excited by, the penetration of the kick. Also comes down to just being reliable when you get the ball back. Do you know what I mean? And making sure you hit a target and then go on and so forth. Granger's definitely got that in him and one that definitely to look out for this year, but I think we'll get a lot of starts. You've got CJ there, Sicily, and I've gone Jarman Impey. Now, Jarman Impey back training with the defenders, which incidentally I think is his best position for what it's worth if you want my 10 penneth on it. But CJ, what a player. What a terrific player. This guy, again, is another player that would make the starting 18 of every 18 football clubs. An absolute wonderful footballer. Goes about his work really well. Decent pace, penetration. They're going to get a lot of the ball in the back line, let's be honest. Hawthorn, even though I'm bullish on them, I don't think they're going to be 18th, which I think a lot of people are putting them in. I think they'll definitely finish above the bottom two, in my opinion. And CJ, he's going to thrive on that. A bit like Wheaterin did for Carlton when Carlton were really under the cosh and he had them stupid numbers and Liam Jones. I think CJ, he can turn a game. He can turn a game and he's very dangerous and he really buys in to what they're building. I think he'll be exciting. Sicily, guy needs no introduction. How he didn't get an All-Australian nom, daylight robbery. I don't do the AA noms. Top 3 in the league for me in his position. Very good footballer. Annoying to watch. Not very likeable cat. But I tell you what, he plays the game incredibly well and he's a very important asset. And MP here, I think that they do need a bit of penetration down the back. I think that's the one thing they lack. I think they've got the speed to beat things, but I think MP does take the game on. And I think he's a very wise, one of the more senior players in this team now. So he's really come into that where he's probably one of the leaders, dare I say it, just by age demographic. And I think he's very reliable, and I think he's had his injury worries. I think if he's fit, though, there's no doubt for me he's in the starting 22. The centre line then, Carl Amon, big summer acquisition. Top 2 in the league for wingers, I think. Very understated what he does. And I think he's a great acquisition for Hawthorn because I think they're going to have to keep their width. They're really going to have to. They're going to have to play. And you look at how Sam Mitchell plays. He likes to get the ball out and away quickly. Carl Amon is your numero uno, probably bar Ed Langdon for that. So what an acquisition. Cost them chips. Brilliant little player there as well. Salary people are talking about is expensive. No one rates wingmen, but yet again, the last 10 sides that have won the flag have had wingmen that keep width and allow the ball to get away from congestion. Carl Amon is one of the finest exponents of that. Newcomb, love this kid. And I bet Mitchell is one of the first names. Real tough, real industrious. He gets the ball, he uses it. A little bit of Sam Mitchell about him as well, the way that, he's not scared to get involved, to play the ball in traffic. I love this kid. He's got a character about him as well. He really stands out. He's a likeable chap. And we've got Big Will Day on there. If he can stay fit, we know we've played him down the back. Hawthorn have. I reckon he's a walk-up start for the wing. And, get the pill in this kid's hands. He can play. And I think he's a great rotation option for them, which I think Hawthorn are going to have to get creative at times throughout the year. But I like that centre line. It probably doesn't strike the fear of God into sides, but it's very, very output-based, which is what Mitchell's looking for. Connor McDonald, we've got high half forward. With Cozzy and Wingard. Wingard, he's the most annoying player to watch, and I'm glad he doesn't play for Carlton because he's one of them players that when he's on your list, you fucking hate him. But then he'll probably come up on free agency, and he's one of them players that you kind of think, oh, you know what, Wingard, he's not bad, is he? He's a bit experienced. If he can get it right, where he's shown glimpses under Mitchell, that he's there. There's no doubt his best is world class. It's world class. So a lot expected of him here because he's one of the senior figures of this forward line outside of Bruce. So be interesting here to see how he can coordinate these. I love McDonald. He's been playing as that medium forward. I really like what this kid brings. Can find the ball as well. He isn't scared to go and get his own pill. And Mitch Lewis being out early doors is a nightmare for them. You're probably, 5 rounds? So we're doing this based on round 1. Cozzy, I like Cozzy. I really do. And I think there's something there. And I think if these 4 or 5 games that Mitch Lewis isn't there, Cozzy can really get himself acclimatised, get himself some confidence. That's going to shout them in good stead because I don't think they're going to be inundated with opportunities. So it's about maximising your goal kicking. So that is my forward line with Cozzy. I think there's a lot of development there with McDonald. Do you know what I mean? So Bruce, absolute terrific footballer, real big servant of Hawthorn. They've got rid of a lot of experience, but I think the way that Lukey goes about his business is impeccable, and I think that's really important. The loss of Gunston is huge for me. Is huge, and can Connor and Wingard plug that gap? They probably can plug it to an extent. Never be the calibre of Gunston this year, I don't think. Wingard, potentially, he's going to have to really increase his output, but Bruce is really important, I think, to their forward line. Good pressure, good IQ, good footballer as well, and knows where the onion bag is. We've got Lloyd Meek here at full forward. More of a ruckman, but can play there. I think they're going to have to get creative here. Him and Reeve are going to have to float, particularly in the first 4 games without Lewis, depending on how long that is. I just feel like that's a no-brainer. It's going to be interesting because I actually think Meek, it makes sense that he left Fremantle, but he's probably good enough. He's definitely good enough to play AFL football, and I think he's probably stiff. Obviously, when a player like Luke Jackson comes up, you can't scoff at it, can you? So, makes sense. But Meekie, it'd be interesting to see because he's going to definitely get game time for Hawks, and he's probably been waiting for it for a couple of years. So, it'd be interesting to see. And Dylan Moore, what a player he is. Absolute terrific goals galore. Also brings that pressure, which I think is so important because I think there's a lot of players in the league this year that get a lot of pressure, do you know what I mean? And they don't kick goals. He's a goal kicker, and he's a guy that I think doesn't get paid enough respect in analytics, and I talk about Dylan Moore a lot. He was a guy that I was hoping Carlton might have a sniff at, playing that longer-term contract. He's been on that rookie deal, that rolling deal for a while, but you know what? just shows what a bit of faith does. Mitchell's put a lot of faith into him, and he's come strength to strength. So I think that is a forward line there that we saw it last year as well. Particularly Carlton did that. If you don't pay it enough respect and you just get the opportunities, they know where the onion bag is. So it's going to be interesting. Let's go to the followers. Ned Reeves, monster size, this kid. Monster size. And it's going to be interesting because I think he'll develop nicely, and he's at the right place. I like what Hawks have done. I think that if you're going to do a rebuild, don't do it in drips and drabs. Just rip the Band-Aid off. You know what I mean? And watching Mitchell with the Box Hill Hawks and listening to everything he does, because I'm a big fan. Sam Mitchell, just a spoiler, is my favourite non-Carlton player ever. Do you know what I mean? I love Sam Mitchell, like, fanboy. Just the way he talks, he has a lot of faith, and he's a very good motivator. So I think these boys will be fine. Ned Reeve got a huge opportunity here as well to really own this spot. And he'll have great competition. Once Mitchell Lewis comes in, will they play 2 ruckmen? I'm not too sure. That's needed. I like a 2 ruckman policy, but I think they probably won't. And it'll be a wait and see for me. But Reevey, he can do it. He can definitely do it. He's definitely got the right facets and right skill sets. James Warple's going to be an interesting one. He hasn't quite hit the straps that we saw 2 years ago. It's going to be interesting, but I think he's going to now have the opportunity. No Jaeger, no Tom. I think you're looking at him now as the premium midfielder of this group, and that's opportunity. Do you know what I mean? Breeds success at times. And it's going to be interesting to show how much he wants it, because skill level-wise, this kid definitely belongs. And then Wardy with him. I really like Wardy. He had a real good year last year, and it's going to be interesting to see how he develops. But these kids are going to get game time, and it's going to be how they're managed is going to be a big key for me. But I really like it. I think they've got a good little following line there, and there's probably a follower there for the next 5 years, isn't it? And then the Pine. Gone Scrimshaw. Scrimshaw, I think, will definitely be either in the 18 or the 22, but I think they need a little bit of protection down there. Probably it was like him and Impey I was between. Do you know what I mean? I was between him and Impey, and then I was also between Denver and him, and playing him in key position. I didn't think Denver's quite ready for that responsibility, but Scrimshaw will definitely be there, very reliable. And again, they need all the experience they can get, and he's played a lot of games. Do you know what I mean? McGuinness, I'm a big fan of this guy, and I think he will be stiff not to be in the 22. A guy that's got a lot of ticks in the right boxes. It's about getting that consistency and just weaning in the basics. I think Cam McKenzie, I said this at the time, he's one of my guys to look out for to win the NAB Rising Star. I don't think the Rising Star will be obvious this year. I know people think it's going to be Ashcroft. I don't think it will be. And McKenzie, for me, is probably the safest draft pick ever, because he wasn't the star for Sandy. He was the provider to allow Ashcroft to do what he does. And that role doesn't change for a draftee, because that will be Ashcroft's role for Brisbane. He isn't going to be the main star. He's going to be that accompaniment piece as he earns the stripes. McKenzie walks in and it's basically the same job, and his levels of consistency are incredible. And this guy, for me, is a Sam Mitchell clone. I think Sam will love getting it. So keep an eye out for him. And Nash, again, I think there's going to be a lot of rotation in these positions, and Nash is definitely one of them guys that I think will be there and will be on the interchange bench. It's a great little option, but I think that's got some good Pine basis there. I think all 4 of them there have got some real good potential coming off the Pine. The ones to watch then, Sammy Butler. I think this is a position that Hawthorn definitely need to plough some time into, and I think, with Gunston gone, McDonald probably has got the role first. Butler's going to be looking and going, you know what? I can do this. Cooper Stevens in the midfield, moved over from Geelong. He knows how to play football, so he's going to be someone that I'm really, really keen on keeping an eye on. Josh Weddle, he was stiff not to play. I think he's the perfect mid-sized player, so keep an eye on him in the VFL. And then Emerson Jecker to finish the ones to watch. I love this kid. I think he's got a lot of opportunity, and watch him in VFL because he could be a superstar. But that is my Hawthorn 22 with ones to watch. Let me know, Hawkers. You've all been mad in my DMs and that. Shout out to everyone for requesting this video. And until next time, see you Friday. Palm out.